কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালের গত 2-1 সপ্তাহ ধরে যে ঘটনা প্রবাহ, সেটার আমরা যদি একটা হেডলাইনে আনতে হয় তাহলে আমরা এটা বলতে পারি আইরনিক্যালি কন্ট্রাডিক্টরি কোইন্সিডেন্স। হ্যাঁ, একদিকে কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটাল ধর্মনগরে তাদের ব্রাঞ্চ খুলেছে, এই প্রথম বরাক উপত্যকার কোনো হসপিটাল তাদের অন্য রাজ্যে ব্রাঞ্চ খুলেছে, এটা অবশ্যই গর্বের বিষয়। আবার দেখুন, একই সঙ্গে এই ধর্মনগর প্রজেক্টকে নিয়ে কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালের মধ্যে রীতিমতো ফাটল দেখা দিয়েছে। এই প্রথম কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালের সোসাইটির মিটিংয়ে ভোটাভুটি হয়েছে এবং এ নিয়ে যে বার্তাটা বিভিন্ন মহলে শোনা যাচ্ছে, সংবাদ মাধ্যমেও আসছে, সেটা মোটেও স্বস্তিজনক নয়, খানিকটা বলতে গেলে উদ্বেগের বরাক উপত্যকার জন্য। কারণ কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটাল বরাক উপত্যকার দক্ষিণ অসমের মানুষের কাছে একটা ভরসার জায়গা। দ্বিতীয়ত, কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে প্রচুর সংখ্যক কর্মী রয়েছেন, ডাক্তার বলুন বা অন্য প্যারামেডিক্স যারা রয়েছেন, তাদের মধ্যেও খানিকটা হলেও উদ্বেগ দেখা দিয়েছে। ঠিক কি হচ্ছে এই কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে, এই বিষয়ে আমরা একদম সরাসরি কথা বলবো এই কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটাল সোসাইটির ডিরেক্টর ডক্টর রবি কান্নানের সঙ্গে। ডক্টর কান্নান, সরাসরি ইন্টারভিউ যাওয়ার আগে আমি কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটাল নিয়ে 2-1টি তথ্য আমার দর্শকদের জানিয়ে দিতে চাই। আপনারা সবাই জানেন কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে নতুন করে বলার মতো কিছু নেই, তাহলেও কিছু তথ্য আপনারা শুনে রাখুন। 1992-তে কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটাল সোসাইটির প্রথম বৈঠকটি অনুষ্ঠিত হয়েছিল। সেদিন মাত্র 40 থেকে 45 জন সদস্য সেই মিটিংয়ে উপস্থিত ছিলেন। জ্যোতিরিন্দ্র দত্ত, যাকে এই শহর বা এই উপত্যকা কালাদা নামে চিনতেন, তাকে সভাপতি করা হয় এবং সাধারণ সম্পাদক জেনারেল সেক্রেটারি হয়েছিলেন প্রদীপ মুখার্জি। তবে তিনি খুব বেশি দিন সেই পদে ছিলেন না, তার জায়গায় পরবর্তী সাধারণ সম্পাদক হন ডক্টর চিন্ময় চৌধুরী। 1994-এ কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালের ফাউন্ডেশন স্টোন লে করা হয়। তার 2 বছর পর 1996-এ হসপিটাল ইনাগুরেশন হয়। ওই সময় মানে 1996 যখন হসপিটাল শুরু হয়, সেই সময় হসপিটালের চিকিৎসক এবং অচিকিৎসক কর্মী নিয়ে ছিলেন 23 জন। সেভাবে স্পেশালাইজড কোনো অঙ্কোলজিস্ট সে সময় ছিলেন না। ডাক্তার সন্ময় গাঙ্গুলির মতো স্পেশালিস্টরা মাসের মধ্যে 1-2বার করে আসতেন। মূলত ভিজিটিং প্রফেসর দিয়েই, ভিজিটিং ডক্টরস দিয়েই সে সময় কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালের যাত্রা শুরু হয়েছিল। 2007-এ ডক্টর রবি কান্নান এই কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে যোগদান করেন এজ এ ডিরেক্টর এবং এরপর থেকে কার্যত জয়যাত্রার চাকাটা ঘুরতে শুরু করে। কিভাবে, আমরা সেটা পরিসংখ্যান দিয়ে দেখিয়ে দিচ্ছি। এখন কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে ডাক্তার এবং প্যারামেডিক্স মিলিয়ে রয়েছেন 450 জন। হসপিটাল এখন ইনস্টিটিউট হয়ে উঠছে। এখানে ডিএনবি কোর্স চালু হয়েছে, ফেলোশিপ রয়েছে এবং নার্সিং অঙ্কোলজির কোর্স শুরু হয়েছে। বেডের সংখ্যা 140। গত বছরে কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে ফুটফল বা নতুন রোগী এসছেন 4877, অর্থাৎ গড়ে দিনে অ্যাভারেজ পার ডে 13 জন করে নতুন পেশেন্ট কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে এসছেন। ফলো আপ পেশেন্ট এসছেন 32,925, অর্থাৎ অ্যাভারেজ পার ডে 103 জন করে কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে ফলো আপ করাতে এসছেন। গত বছর নতুন রোগী এসছেন 4877, অর্থাৎ অ্যাভারেজ পার ডে 13 জন করে নতুন রোগী কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে দেখাতে এসছেন। আর ফলো আপ রোগীর সংখ্যা গত বছরে ছিল 32,925, 32,925, অর্থাৎ পার ডে অ্যাভারেজে 103 জন করে রুগী ফলো আপ করতে এসছেন। গত বছর কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালের ইনকাম জেনারেট হয়েছে গিয়ে 56,65,11,098 আর এক্সপেন্ডিচার 55,78,79,469। প্রতি মাসে এখন শুধু বেতন বাবদ কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালের খরচ হয় 1.5 কোটি টাকা, অর্থাৎ বছরে স্টাফেদের বেতনের জন্য প্রয়োজন 18 কোটি টাকা। আমাদের রাজ্য সরকার আর কিছুদিন আগেই ক্যাবিনেট ডিসিশন নিয়ে কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালকে 10 বিঘা জমির অ্যালটমেন্টের সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছে। আমরা শুনেছি সেই নতুন প্রজেক্টটা শুরু হবে গিয়ে মেরুয়া গ্রান্টে। এই যে বীজ থেকে আজ যে কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটাল একটা মহিরুহ হয়ে উঠেছে, সেটার কাণ্ডারি আমরা নির্দ্বিধায় বলতে পারি ডক্টর রবি কান্নান।
Welcome to our show, and at first I must congratulate you for your Dharmanagar project.
It's not mine.
Your Kacha Cancer Hospital's dream project. But at the same time, we must say it's a historical project also, historical step towards for Kacha Cancer Hospital Society.
Yeah, see, the society's aim all along has been to provide cancer care to the community in the region, especially those who are poor and marginalized and underserved. And to that end, we have been doing many things, trying to reduce costs of care, trying to reduce waiting periods, trying to make access easier. And so we have put up satellites in Barigram, in Haflong, in Karimganj, in Lala. Karimganj and Lala, the satellite center started in 2014, many years ago, in Labok. And now the government of Tripura has come forward and offered a space in Dharmanagar to try and replicate this model there. They have seen what is happening here, and they think that a hospital on this model may be beneficial to the people of Dharmanagar, of Tripura, and so it's an opportunity to serve.
Borakville is concerned, whatever we have seen, that doctors are used to come here from outside. Doctors are from medical centers. This is for the first time for a Borakville hospital that we have set up an establishment in another state. So it is an historical from that angle also.
I didn't think
But
of it that
at the
way.
same time, in the history of Kasai Cancer Hospital Society, this is for this project, the society has seen for the first time voting. And apparently there was a bit rift, I must say. One of the senior most society member has resigned, and one of your deputy director has also left. How do you see this?
So I must tell you, all these years, the society has seen a very democratic way of functioning. All along, it has been, there have been arguments and counter arguments.
Quite natural.
And when there are so many people, there will be differing view, and that is what happened this time also. I understand that there's a lot of, but I think somewhere, what is an internal matter in the society, has been blown up, for what reasons I don't know, but arguments and counter arguments, differences of opinion will be there in any organization. Here also, and then we will eventually, there has to be some way of resolving differing viewpoints, and so people voted, and whatever.
The arguments and counter arguments is quite natural, but resignation is very.
I am not sure. I don't know. See, you have to talk to the individuals concerned. But I don't know if a resignation was on the basis of this disagreement. That is something you have to talk to the individuals who are who have left, you know.
But whatever we have heard from our very different sources, that Tripura government has approached you, Dr. Ravi Kannan, not the society. All the discussions they had with Dr. Ravi Kannan, not with the society. And this had sent an opposite signal to some of the members of the society.
No, actually,
and you took the final decision whether this will be set up here or not.
No. Let me place the chronology correctly.
Right.
So that we want to go out to different areas and establish satellites has been discussed, has been in the society's governing council and a general body for a long time. I'm telling you, the Karimganj and Lala started in 2014, and several rounds of discussions happened that on setting up satellites in Haflong and different areas. After the society's approval only, the rest of the thing happened. It is not that all this happened, without the society. The society's approval was there before we went and took this matter ahead. That's all. It is inaccurate to say that the government approached us and the society did not know. The society had approved it, and post approval, all these discussions happened, and then it came back to that. At that time, there was a rethink whether we are in a position to execute it or not, and so there were opinions that thought that we have to become stronger here before we branch out, and there were opinions that said that while we are growing, we can also help other centers grow, and we would be, and so that's how it happened.
At present, you have only 23 doctors.
Yeah, but we are a very.
But do you think is it sufficient to set up another setup in another state?
So clearly it is not. And so when we set up another hospital, it is one thing to run daycare clinics and PEP centers, and another story to run a hospital. So we will have to so we will have to recruit people. But that does not have to happen overnight. Even a hospital will see, our own hospital, when I joined, I was the only doctor. Do you think one doctor is enough to run a cancer hospital? No. It is not, no? But we have grown. We were only 20 beds when I joined. We are now 150 beds. We were only 23 staff, including me when I joined. We are now 480 staff. So clearly things will grow, and things will grow organically. Right now, we don't have anybody full-time in Dharmanagar. Doesn't mean that is how it will remain. As the hospital grows, one by one, people will join, and that will add to the capabilities of that hospital, but it will also add capabilities of the whole region. Ultimately, healthcare is linked. So many ways it is linked. So people from, say, Barigram come here. When the center in Dharmanagar comes, some of them from many of those areas may find it easier to go to. So it is, so I think eventually it is good for the region.
I talked to many of members of the society, and most of them said one term. Most of them use one term, that is ego clash. A section of the society, feel that the society, Kasai Cancer Hospital, is the owner of the hospital or the organization.
Correct, it is.
Yeah, it is. But Dr. Kannan is outshadowing it. He doesn't care for the society members.
So let me set this record also straight. I don't think
even they say even they said that you take all the decisions.
So okay, let me clarify on that also. So firstly, I don't think these arguments were an issue of ego. They were just differing viewpoints. I think none of our egos eventually has anything to do with all of this, because running a hospital or serving sick people or administering a society is not about ego. Nobody becomes greater because they were the president of the society or the secretary of the society or the director of the hospital. They are all working towards one common cause. That is the person who is sick, the person who has cancer, their families, their wellness, their livelihoods. So that is the united aim. And differing viewpoints don't make it an ego clash. I don't agree with that statement.
You disagree with the term.
Yeah. The second thing is Ravi Kannan taking all the decisions as far as the hospital goes is correct, because that was the terms of my appointment. When I was appointed in 2007, the only agreement was the society will lay down policy, the society will ensure that finances are properly used, the society will be responsible for all the property, mobile and fixed assets, but day-to-day administration will rest with the director. And that was the premise on which my appointment was made. And so that's what I do.
So
All these years,
you take the final decision in
For the
all
hospital.
hospital, and including the appointments.
yes, day-to-day administration rests with the director. That was the premise on which I was appointed, and all along I have never had a problem. The society has supported me to the hilt. There was never an issue. I'm not sure that is an issue now either. Because see, we cannot have multiple people, taking decisions. The
Chaos.
and the society stand on this has actually helped growth in the organization.
Exactly. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So, and they have been very supportive, very, very supportive.
But some of them told me that you forwarded this argument that you were given the sole authority to, but you failed to produce any document about this.
Yeah, because this was a verbal discussion. This was a verbal agreement, and several of them will remember this. Remember the current society members, many of them have joined subsequently. Yeah. People who were there earlier will all recall this discussion, and I don't think there is a disagreement there. We can now put it in writing. That's not a problem.
But another thing, do you have the signing authority in check?
No, I don't.
You don't.
I don't think I should be having that also. As a matter of fiscal discipline, this is also something that when I joined, I gave a written note. And so all of this, what the director's role should be. And so the authority for signing checks should see, I am the one who orders equipment. Somebody has to have oversight over that. Imagine if I were to decide we will buy this equipment, and then I negotiate and then I pay. There's a lot of scope for inappropriate use of resources, and so I don't sign any checks. That is signed by is with this society.
General Secretary.
Yeah, the Vice President. Vice President. Yes, they are the authorized signatories, and they have the right to call for all whatever documentation is required.
But you take the decision of purchasing.
What should be purchased is a medical matter.
Yeah, medical matter.
So I take the decision. What drugs, what equipment, whether we should buy a CT scan or MRI. That decision is a medical matter. That's it.
Yeah. I've been told that this time the chartered accountant has red marked at least 9 to 11 points. These are not at all of financial irregularities, but you may say procedural lacuna. Like for purchasing some item or material, we have to take at least 3 quotation. But in many cases, in Kasar Cancer Hospital, materials estimated crore lakhs of rupees were purchased without taking 3 quotations. Is it true?
No, that is not true, because all these big equipment that we buy are through a tender process. See, this building was constructed, it is through a tender process. The equipment that we buy for the LENAC, it is all through a GEM portal. Government, because most of the CSR support comes to the government through the DC's account, and then we have to tender through the GEM portal. So and for several equipment, there may not be more than one vendor. So depending on, we can examine each of these situations and see what is happening, but as a rule, we take ultimately the idea of getting multiple quotes is to get the best possible deal for the organization. As far as drugs go, and anti-cancer drugs, we are part of the National Cancer Grid. And as part of the National Cancer Grid, the whole National Cancer Grid has 300 odd members. And we group negotiate for the grid. All the hospitals say they will buy so much. And so when we negotiate as a group, the costs come down enormously. And so we use the National Cancer Grid negotiated prices. So we don't go and negotiate separately, because if we do that, we will not get the best deal. And so for drugs, we just use the NCG rates. That's it.
Another allegation that Kasar Cancer Hospital used to have a hospital management committee, which has become now dysfunctional or non-functional. Is it true?
So this is also part of the original thing, that the administration of the hospital will rest with the director. And so we have every Saturday we have a meeting of heads of various departments. Most of the time these are operational, administration, finance, IT. When there is a department, pathology, the pathology department. When there is research, the research department comes. We don't have a member from the society on the weekly meetings, because that was never part of the original discussion. That's it. We call that Saturday meeting GTD, Get Things Done Group. But it meets every Saturday.
Is it true that you tried to form a parallel body called Kasar Cancer, Fans of Kasar Cancer Hospital?
No. Friends of Kachar Cancer. Friends. That is not a parallel. Parallel to what?
Parallel to this hospital management.
No. These are all people who volunteer time for us, for IT, for fundraising, for setting up our website. And I'm surprised. Who gave you this information? These are all.
But this information is doing the rounds.
No. Friends of any organization. Don't you have? When I was at the Cancer Institute, we had Friends of Cancer Institute. Every organization has friends. And these are people who come and help us do so many things. Yeah. They help coach us, they help leadership programs. They have nothing to do with the administration of the hospital. They have no say in the administration.
Another point that they were saying, some of them were saying that no individual can be more prominent than the institute.
Correct. Correct.
And the problem here is Dr. Kannan is so prominent. He is more prominent than the institute.
So, Mr. Modi is more prominent than the BJP. Is that a problem? Indira Gandhi was more prominent than the Congress. Was a problem? Jawaharlal Nehru was more. Where is the problem?
That is why I told
The leadership,
ego
no,
clash.
I don't think it's ego. See, always the leadership will be better known than the organization. That does not mean that the leader is more important than no. Saying that the individual is well known is a different story. Saying that the individual is more important is a totally different thing. Individual cannot be more important than the organization.
Can never be.
Individual cannot be bigger than the organization. But the individual can be more known than the organization. Those are different adjectives having different meanings. But always the institution is bigger than every individual in the organization. Individuals will come and go. Institution will go on.
Another question, and that is also I've heard from another member, that in last few meetings you had to hear some abusive terms against you in local colloquial language. Is it true?
These are all in the heat of the moment. People will say many things that one should not take to heart, that they don't really have any meaning. So I don't think we should address these issues. These are of no relevance.
So you took the decision to come into Silchar, which is a almost unknown place for you, in 2007. 17 years have come. So what is your assessment? Was your decision that you took in 2007 was correct?
I don't think there is any doubt in that. I have no, if you're asking me, do I regret? I have no regrets. I'm very happy with what we have done. I'm very happy. See, I joined because the philosophy of the society and my philosophy, the philosophy that I learned at the Cancer Institute, they were in sync. And today also, I don't think there is any mismatch there. This philosophy, the core value, I don't think there's any.
Have you been able to build up a next generation?
Yes, yes, we are all at all levels. We are very aggressively promoting the next generation in administration, in finance, in nursing, everywhere. I have the next generation ready. Dr. Ritesh was going to take over from me.
But he has resigned.
Yeah, he's gone on a sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
But then we don't know what will happen with time. All of us, we don't know 1 year from today what will happen to me. So for now, he's gone on a sabbatical. So should he choose to come back, then we will be where we are. Otherwise, we will build another generation of leaders.
Yeah. Whatever particular I have said.
See, I think no individual is indispensable.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Neither in the hospital nor in the society. Nobody is indispensable. It's okay. If somebody has left, we'll find somebody else. That's all. Period.
As far as
Hypothetically, if I leave today, this whole thing will not collapse.
Yeah.
Somebody else will come up. That's all. I don't think that's an issue.
Nothing remains void. No?
Yeah, and there may be some turbulence for a short period, but it will all stabilize.
I have individually seen that you being a doctor, apart from being a doctor, you always focused on making people aware of cancer. In last 17 years, what is your assessment? People are
Definitely, as a result of the work put in by the hospital and the society, awareness has improved tremendously. There's a lot more awareness about cancer, but a lot more remains to be done. Also, awareness about the options before people has also increased. They know that there are various avenues that will support them in their journey. That is also improved. But and also important that it is, see, in 2010 when I looked at our data, almost all our breast cancer patients were stage 4 breast cancer. Today, about 30% of them are stage 2 and stage 3 cancers. So there is a shift towards earlier diagnosis. It is not ideal, it is not what it should be, but definitely there is a stage migration. People are tending to come at lower stages. Also, same 2010, almost 70-75% of our patients would defer treatment, would not complete treatment. Today, almost 70% of our patients complete treatment.
Yeah.
Those who start treatment, hardly anybody drops out. Earlier, even after starting treatment, people would drop out. So definitely there is a change. And these are all figures that are available in the...
In the last 17 years in your stay in Silchar, I hope you have understood Bengali. You have learned Bengali. Kunchu kunchu.
Alpo alap karte pare.
I said kunchu kunchu.
Yes, I know that.
So thank you, doctor, for taking me so much time. Again, a big congratulations and big best wishes for your project.
Thank you.
Not your project, society's project.
Thank you. And I want to, the final thing is, these disagreements will happen in every organization, but these disagreements are important because that is what will bring about growth. You know, one viewpoint cannot always be right, and you need multiple viewpoints to get out the best for any organization. And so
Okay then, thank you.
আপনারা শুনলেন ডক্টর রবি কান্নানের বক্তব্য। আমি শুধু শেষ করার আগে গত দুদিনের আমার অভিজ্ঞতার কথাটা বলি। মঙ্গলবার অর্থাৎ 28 জানুয়ারি ধর্মনগরের প্রজেক্টের সিগনেচারের যেগুলো ফর্মালিটিজের পরে কথা ছিল ডক্টর কান্নান সরাসরি আমাদের স্টুডিওতে আসবেন 5:30 থেকে 6টার মধ্যে, কিন্তু আমাদের পরবর্তীতে জানানো হয় যে তিনি আসতে পারছেন না। আমি পরে খবর পেয়েছি সেদিন রাত্রে ধর্মনগরতে ফিরতে ফিরতে তার রাত 9:30 বেজেছে। তারপর আমাদের সময় দেওয়া হয়েছিল বুধবার অর্থাৎ 29 জানুয়ারি। সেদিন আমরা 5:30 সময় এসেছি ক্যান্সার হসপিটালে এবং এসে শুনেছি যে ডক্টর কান্নান ওটিতে রয়েছেন। সকাল 9টার সময় তিনি ওটিতে ঢুকেছেন এবং সন্ধে আমরা 6:30 পর্যন্ত ওয়েট করেছি, তখনও তিনি ওটিতে রয়েছেন। এবং আমরা এটাও শুনেছি যে সকাল 9টার সময় যে তিনি ওটিতে ঢুকেছিলেন তারপর থেকে উনি লাঞ্চও করেননি বা কিছু খানওনি। এই যে ডেডিকেশন, একদিকে এই ডেডিকেশন, আবার অন্যদিকে ধর্মনগর প্রজেক্টের জন্য তার যে 6টার ফেরার কথা তার ফিরতে ফিরতে 9:30 হয়ে যাচ্ছে। ঠিক এই যে জায়গাটা, সেখানের মধ্যেই কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটালের যে বর্তমান পরিস্থিতি সেটা খানিকটা হলেও দাঁড়িয়ে রয়েছে। এই ডেডিকেশনটা কি ধর্মনগর প্রজেক্টের জন্য কোনোভাবে চিড় ধরবে? ডক্টর কান্নানের ফোকাসটা কি ডিভাইড হয়ে যাবে? এটার উত্তর একমাত্র ভবিষ্যতই দিতে পারবে। তবে আমরা আজকে এই জায়গা থেকে দাঁড়িয়ে একটা কথাই বলতে পারি যে 2007 সালে ডক্টর রবি কান্নান, শিলচরের নামও যিনি সেভাবে শোনেননি, চেন্নাইয়ে তার অসম্ভব সম্ভাবনাময় পূর্ণ একটি কেরিয়ারের কথা না ভেবে শিলচর চলে এসেছিলেন। সেই কান্নানের পক্ষে ধর্মনগর প্রজেক্টটা করাও হয়তো খুব একটা অসম্ভবের ব্যাপার হবে না। আজকে এই আশা নিয়ে আমরা কাছাড় ক্যান্সার হসপিটাল থেকে বিদায় নিচ্ছি।